Hey guys, Will here again, back with another battle report. Once again we are warming up for the 40k Gaming's Highlander tournament. So I've got my Eldar again, same list as I used in the last warm-up game. Sam's bringing his Orks this time. He's having a bit of a fiddle around as to what army he's going to run, so he's trying the Orks out tonight. For the tournament it's 1500 points and no duplicated units. For more details on exactly how that works, check the link in the description where I talk a bit more about the tournament, but basically, yeah, it's just one of everything. Anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at the armies. So this is becoming a pretty standardised Eldar list for me. The only thing that's really different from what I normally run is I've got no Wraith Guard and no second wave Serpent because I am limited to just a one wave Serpent, and I've got the Striking Scorpions instead. So leading off, I've got my Farseer. He's on a jet bike with a Singing Spear, and then I've got my first troops choice, which is 5 jet bikes with scatter lasers. Now, I know that running these in multiple small units is better than one larger one, but yeah, restrictions of the tournament do kind of hurt Eldar's MSU ability, although for my Biltan it's not as bad as some Eldar players because I got all the aspects. Second troops choice is going to be my Dire Avengers, 10 of them with an Exarch and a Shimmer Shield. And they've got a Wave Serpent, which has got the Holo Field and the turret-mounted and underslung Shuriken Cannons. Then I've got 6 Fire Dragons, and they've got an Exarch as well, and they'll be running in a Falcon that's got Bright Lance and Pulse Laser, and again Holo Fields. Then all about more aspects, so I've got 8 Warp Spiders with an Exarch, 5 Dark Reapers with an Exarch, and they're upgraded with the Starshot missiles. Then I've got 6 Swooping Hawks with an Exarch, and 10 Striking Scorpions with an Exarch with a Scorpion's Claw. This army's been doing pretty well. I've played about 4 practice games for this tournament, and so far only lost 1 of them. So should be interesting to see how they get on against a different opponent tonight. In theory, Orks aren't that strong, but one thing with this tournament is it does tend to bring units down into more of a balanced area. It's harder to be overpowered without being able to spam units, and Sam's Orks have always been a bit of a trouble for me to deal with, so it'll be very interesting to see how I do. And here's Sam's Ork army. Loads of gorgeous conversions in this army, but unfortunately he's not been playing it much recently because Orks tend to be a little underpowered. But this tournament brings a bit more balance to things, and then with 8th edition on the horizon, this army might be on the table a little bit more. We shall have to wait and see. So for his Warlord, he's got an Ork War Boss on Gazbag's Blitz Bike, converted from this Skaven Doom wheel. He's also got a Power Claw and a Boss Pole. Then we've got a Pain Boy, and then his only troops choice, which is a unit of boys. Now, how's he got away with only 1 troops choice? That again is part of the Highlander rules. Because you can't take duplicate units, they've said you only need a single troops if you only want to take a single troops choice. He's then got so there's 30 boys there, and they've got a knob with a Boss Pole and Power Claw. Oh, just a Power Claw, no Boss Pole. Then we've got the Storm Boys, 20 of these guys, again knob with a Power Claw. Unit of 6 bikes, knob, Boss Pole, Power Claw. Oh no Boss Pole there either. Looks like he's got one, but he hasn't. It don't work. Then we've got his Mega Knobs, 5 of these guys, all stock, and they're riding in a heavy support choice battle wagon. That's no dedicated transport battle wagon, as this is really nice conversion from a Lehman Russ battle tank and the back end of a battle wagon, and that has got the kill cannon upgrade. And then we've got 10 tank busters, and they're in a converted truck. And finally, La Piste de Resistance, the Gorka Knight. So this is a Gorkanaut converted from an Imperial Knight, and yeah, a pretty scary contraption in my experience. So there we have it, 1500 points of Orks. So of the 3 missions in the tournament pack, we rolled up Cleanse and Control, so we're diagonal deployment and 3 objective cards per turn. Pretty standard sort of a game. I won the roll-off to go first, and so deployed here, kind of clustered together, not really knowing where I'm going to be going, but using a little bit of cover to give myself some survivability from the incoming Ork fire, although it's only really the wagon and the Gorkanaut that are much of a threat at range. Reaper's up on the hill here to score that objective 6 and have a nice commanding position while still using the lip of the hill for a cover save. Got the Fire Dragons in the Falcon and the Dire Avengers in the Wave Serpent. Then I've got my Swooping Hawks right at the back here, looking to Skyleap early on, although that will depend on how the Ork attack goes. Warp Spiders are in reserves, and I forgot to infiltrate my Striking Scorpions, so I'm just going to do that now. So my Scorpions have deployed in these ruins here to benefit from the cover save. That also has objective number 5 on it. And they're only just outside my deployment zone, but I didn't really need them to get forward because the Orks are going to come to me. They're not going to try and stand back and engage the Eldar in a shoot-off. So, yeah, then there's Sam's army over here. We've got the big mobber boys in the centre and the storm boys there, all as far forward as possible to get forward nice and quick. Battle wagons slightly behind, benefiting from some cover there, and I guess hoping to use the Mega Knobs as a counter-punch or a second wave. Got the bikes over on the flank, and the tank busters here. Both of these units were really keen to stay out of line of sight from the Dark Reapers, who could wreck either one of those units very early on. And then the Gorkanite is in cover over there. Yes, that counts as in cover. A little bit backing up his line, provide some fire support and more counterpunch. So that is the deployment. And Sam, would you like to seize the initiative? Oh, well, me, he actually did. Nice one. Here we go, Ork first turn. So, in addition to seizing the initiative, the Orks had pretty good objectives this turn. Score objective 4, which was right in front of the Storm Boys, and objective 3, right in front of these boys, who got 6 on their run. So both these squads just surged forward. Bikes swung round here, still keeping in cover from the menacing Dark Reapers over there, as did this truck. With the tank busters in. Gorkanite managed to roll a 2 for its move through cover, so he's going nowhere very quickly. And the wagon moved up in range to fire its kill cannon. Now the majority of the shooting from the, particularly from the bikes, the tank busters and the Gorkanaut, all aimed for the Striking Scorpions. But thanks to having stealth and shrouded and a 4-up cover save anyway in the ruins, they had a 2-up cover, and then some slightly jammy dice rolls meant that despite taking about 15-16 saves, didn't lose a single Scorpion all turn, so that's denied him first blood. He also had a shot at the Falcon with the kill cannon from the battle wagon. Managed to get a glancing hit, but it was saved by my holo fields. My holo fields actually did something. So the Ork turn resulted in no damage, but he did get a point for that and a point for that. His remaining card is Psychological Warfare, which I believe he's discarded. So we survived the initial turn, but these Orks are closer than I'd like them to be. Here we go with Eldar turn 1. Okay, so Eldar turn 1, and started off with 3 objectives. Got Scour the Skies. That is obviously going to be discarded at the end of the turn because he has no flyers. So what have I got? No prisoners, so just kill something and harness the warp. Well, my Farseer should be able to do that. Falcon jumped over there to make some space for other units to come forward, and the jet bikes moved up. Avengers disembarked from the Wave Serpent, and rather than skyleaping, my Swooping Hawks jumped onto this terrain, and that's when I suffered my first casualties of the battle. Lost 2 to dangerous terrain tests, which is a little bit unfortunate, but hey, it happens, and it's all part of the game. And then all of this here, so the Wave Serpent, the Reapers, the Avengers, the jet bikes, yeah, that was it. All of this shot for the Storm Boys because I just needed that first kill, and Storm Boys are a big threat to an Eldar army, so getting them off the table was vital. And it did take all of those units, but in the end the Storm Boys were gone. Swooping Hawks then tried to shoot these boys, but my run move, despite the fleet reroll, was pretty poor. And only one guy got in range, but he did kill a single Ork. And then the Falcon fired at them, my hope being if I could kill enough of the front of them, I could stop them getting the charge on the Avengers next turn, because I'd had to overextend myself to get everybody in range to fire at the Storm Boys. That left this flank of Sam's army pretty much untouched. The armour's all still fine, the bikes and the tank, but they've got a way to go to be threatening me. Scorpions decided just to stay still, and in the Psychic phase my Farseer had killed 7 of the Storm Boys with a Psychic Shriek, and also made his squad invisible. So that was turn 1. I scored these 2 points and First Blood, so 3-2 to the Eldar after 1 turn. Here we go with Ork turn 2. Tough cards for the Orks in turn 2. Needed to score objective 5, which was down here, and objective 6 over there, as well as having Blood and Guts, which you'd have thought Orks might have had a decent chance of doing. He called his War in an attempt to get into combat, and these boys then proceed to roll a 1 for their run move and only a 4 on their difficult terrain. So they didn't even get close to pulling off the charge they wanted against the Scorpions, although the bikes and the War Boss were able to get in. Shooting was a little bit better than anticipated. The Gorkanaut and the Battle Wagon managed to wipe out all bar 1 of the Dire Avengers, leaving me with just an Exarch on 1 wound, although he did pass his save, so at least he's still there. And then in combat, things did not go the Orcs' way. He really was relying on having both units charge my Scorpions to really do the damage he needed. Ended up losing 3 guys to Mandiblasters before the War Boss cowardly ducked out of a challenge against the Scorpion Exarch, because he knows how badass Scorpion Exarchs are. And I actually killed so many of them with my Exarch and Mandiblasters that my regular guys didn't even get to attack. Still won the combat by 5, and the Orcs are sticking around. If they had fled, they'd have probably been cut down there by the speed of the Scorpions. So, yeah, not a great turn for Sam, unfortunately. Didn't score any points, and he's discarded secure objective 6. But here we are with Eldar turn 2, and I need to roll to see if my reserves turn up. There we go, Warp Spiders inbound. Right, here we go, Eldar turn 2. I've got secure objective 3, secure 1, and hold the line. So in an initial attempt to grab 3, I attempted to bring down my Warp Spiders here, but they scattered off into the Battle Wagon and went back into ongoing reserves. So it was up to everybody else to carry the day. Swooping Hawks decided to Skyleap because they weren't going to get much done anyway, so they are back in ongoing reserves as well. And the Falcon moved up the flank, spun round, out come the Fire Dragons, bang goes the Battle Wagon. That was completely wrecked, and the guys inside were shot up by the Falcon, Wave Serpent and Jet Bikes. Left 1 guy alive on 1 wound, who ran off the table, so really good start there to that turn. Dark Reapers didn't have such a good time, only managing to immobilise the truck over there. This Exarch isn't actually running away, he's simply backing up to get within 12 inches of my table edge to score me, or help to score me hold the line. And then in combat, the Scorpions with the bikes, the War Boss actually accepted my challenge this turn, took 2 wounds before killing my Exarch, but that wasn't enough to stop the rest of the guys wiping out the rest of the squad. War Boss is down to a single wound, and Mandiblasters will probably get him before he gets to swing next turn. So points-wise, I'm not even sure if I've actually got enough guys back to hold the line. I haven't measured that yet. Hang on. 12 inches, so yes, yes, and yes. So we're all in on... Oh yeah, there's a unit in my deployment zone which denies, so I haven't actually scored that one. Or objective 3, or objective 1, so not actually scored anything. Going to discard objective 1 because it's right over in... Actually no, I'm going to hold that. I'm going to discard hold the line because there's Orcs all over my line right now. Both of those should be doable next turn, and with a slight lead still intact, we go into Orc turn 3. Okay, we're at the end of the Orc third turn, and Sam is still finishing off his consolidation move for his boys. He had Hungry for Glory, Blood and Guts, and Secure Objective 5, And as you can see, these boys have actually done some work this turn. They swept down off Objective 3 onto Objective 5, wiped out the Scorpions in combat, although he did lose his war boss to the Mandiblasters before the Scorpions, before the Orks got to swing. But the Scorpions are wiped out, boys are rampaging across. Other than that, the Tank Busters had a shot at my tank, the Wave Serpent, and managed to miss with everything. However, I jinked before I knew they were all going to miss, so I'm snap firing next turn. And the Gorkanaut grumbled along here and shot for the Fire Dragons, only killed 2 of them. And that was about it. He hasn't got that much left on the table, and I've got 2 units in reserves about to come on. So although he did score 2 points that turn to take the lead, 4-3 I believe the score is now. Although actually I got one for Warlord there, so it's 4-4. But here we go, Eldar turn 3, and we got reserves inbound. Okay, third turn, and the Eldar really need to capitalise on their numbers advantage now. Got secure objective 1 and 3, and blood and guts. So with the swooping hawks coming back down with an automatic perfect deep strike, just stuck them right at the back to grab objective 1, out of sight, out of mind, but scoring. Objective 3 was grabbed by the advancing Wave Serpent. I flat-outed that to grab that. Wasn't going to be shooting this turn anyway, because it, well, not effectively, because it jinked. And then the Warp Spiders turned up, aimed for about here, scattered to there, and eventually ended up here after their shooting and jump back moves. Basically it was a case for all these guys down here trying to deal with that big horde of boys. It's gone from about 30 models down to about 7. So pretty good effective turn of shooting. The Pain Boy didn't do as much saving as he'd hoped, and then eventually got caught by a Warp Spider or one of the weapons anyway. Something killed him in the end. But in the end, 7 guys left there, did pass the leadership, so they are sticking around, so they're not wiped out. And over here, the Falcon moved forward, and the Fire Dragons tried to get back in, but didn't roll well enough on their move through cover to actually get to the back door. So they're a little bit exposed now with the Gorkanaut, although he may choose to target the jet bikes instead. But all in all, when all said is done, scored another 2 points there, bringing me up to 6 points to 4 as we head into the 4th Ork turn. Third Ork turn, and although the Eldar are in the lead, the Orks are far from done yet. He's holding secure objective 3, recon, and hungry for glory. So to grab objective 3, the Gorkanaut moved up, shot the Wave Serpent for no damage, but then destroyed it in combat, absolutely murdered it. So that's objective 3, and with recon being scored as well, because every objective's been held at least once, that pulls him back to a draw. Other than that, the Tank Buster boys moved up and shot at the jet bikes, killed 1 of them, and these boys attempted to charge the Warp Spiders. They would have made it, was it not for the Overwatch fire. The Warp Spiders killed 2 of them, and the survivors were just out of charge range. So that does bring it back to 6-6. So although it looks like the Eldar have the upper hand on models, the Orks are just about holding me on points. But here we go with what will be the 4th Eldar turn. 4th Eldar turn, and it's time to wipe these Orks off the map. The Farseer rolled a 6 in the Psychic phase, giving him a total of 9 dice, which he used to invisibility his squad, guide the Falcon, and Psychic Shriek the boys that were there, wiping them out. The guided Falcon then managed to penetrate the armour of the Gorkanaut and get a 6 with the Bright Lance, causing it to explode. So the Gorkanaut's gone, the boys are gone. The Spiders moved up down the flank and killed half the Tank Busters before the jet bikes finished them off. And in an attempt to get the turn 4 massacre, the Dark Reapers fired at the truck, but only took off a hull point, so that is still up, but it's immobilised, and at that point we called it a game. So, massacre effectively to the Eldar, and yeah, victory. Thanks a lot for a good game, mate. Sorry about massacring your army. And there we have it, a nice solid victory for the Eldar. I think the army worked spot on how I planned it to. The striking scorpions drew a lot of attention from the orcs because they were close, but they absorbed it because they were in cover and they're pretty resilient, and I got really jammy with the dice on the scorpions there. I think it was about 25 saves they took before they failed one, and you know, 2+ is good, but it shouldn't be giving me that good odds. So sorry to Sam about that. Yeah, the scorpions just were amazing, and holding the rest of the army up, holding the orc army up, gave the rest of my army a chance to pick the shots and shoot what needed to be shot. And yeah, the orcs crumbled under the Eldar firepower. I think that game shows one of the big problems with 7th edition at the moment is the game itself isn't bad, but the codex balance is just so skewed right now. I mean, that Orc book really isn't that old. It's less than 3 years old, and every time I've played against Sam's Orcs with my Eldar, it's just been a shooting gallery. You know, the Eldar Codex is so powerful that I don't even need to play that well, and the Orcs can put up the best fight they can, and yeah, it's a no contest. So I think after the tournament, obviously I want to use a strong army because it's a tournament. I think I'm going to put the Eldar away for the rest of 7th edition now. I know it's only another month or so. Try and give some of my other armies a bit of a go out, because yeah, the Eldar, they're so good you almost feel bad playing them. And as for Sam's Orcs, well, you know, he did the right things. He had with the options available to him under the Highlander restrictions, a pretty decent army. It was certainly threatening me with some of his units, but yeah, they just crumbled under the firepower. So yeah, I don't think he's actually going to be running Orcs at the tournament. I think he's going to go back to his Chaos, who did pick up a win against my Eldar recently. The only army so far that's beaten my Eldar in the practice games. Now, as good as that sounds for the Eldar, I have only played about 5 or 6 games with them, mostly against Orcs and Chaos, 1 game against Grey Knights. So hoping to get a few other practice games in before the tournament. Certainly got one booked for later this week, which will probably be my last one actually. And then we go straight into the Highlander tournament. With a good record so far, I'm expecting to do well, but I don't know if I'll win the whole thing because I don't think the list is optimised. The Eldar I've got is optimised to what I like to run, so it's loads and loads of Aspect Warriors, because we're built on Aspect Warriors are cool, it's what we want. I should add a Wraith Knight if I want to be really powerful, but I don't want to add a Wraith Knight. I just, you know, I like the feel of the army as is, so that's what I'm going to play. And yeah, hopefully it should still bring out some pretty good results in the tournament, just because, yeah, the Eldar Codex is just so powerful. It's almost wrong. But yeah, there we have it. Thanks a lot to Sam for being a good practice opponent, and thanks to you guys for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.